I am conflicted. Thor Love and Thunder was one of the most anticipated projects in Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and with everything that we learned leading up to its release, the excitement continued to grow. The cast has to be the most exciting thing of all, with the additions of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Christian Bale as Gorr the God Butcher, and the re-entry of Natalie Portman as Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor. Taika Waititi is one of the most electric filmmakers in Hollywood, never straying away from his style and always bringing lots of charm and lots of comedy. The Waititi-Hemsworth duo has proven to be a brilliant combo with the success of Thor Ragnarok, and with that, I was very excited to see what they were going to bring to the next project. Now, this is tough for me because I like to be a straight shooter when it comes to my reviews, and especially when it comes to the MCU. But for the first time, I literally have no idea how I feel about this film. There's a lot to love. There's also a lot I found myself not liking. To do this justice, we're going to break the review up for the good and the bad. Like you even need a reminder. This is going to be your one and only spoiler warning. It's no secret that I have not been the biggest fan of the character of Jane Foster in the MCU. I think in the end, she's one of the worst written characters in all of the universe. If the character is supposed to be a very talented and smart scientist, make her that way. Don't make her a dumb love interest like in Thor, or a MacGuffin in Thor the Dark World. You should actually give her some depth and make her a character that you want to care about. For the first time in Thor Love and Thunder, they actually wrote her well. Now, most of her story is based off the comics, but the character development of her and Thor's relationship is some of the best work in this film. Jane is actually lovable instead of being a dumb love interest. She's actually given things to do instead of being in the background. This is just as much Jane's story as it is Thor's. In the end, I thought it was a thoughtful send-off that she deserved. The decision for her to sacrifice herself to save everyone is a choice, and I loved it. It made the journey that much more fulfilling, and it actually made me shed a tear in the end. I went from not caring about her from the start to shedding tears at her death. This is great character development, and most of it happens in this entry. So for that, I have to give some mad props. The performances rock, there's no way around it. Chris Hemsworth has the character of Thor down. There really isn't any doubt at this point. But the rest of the cast really shines here as well. Now, we've already discussed Natalie Portman's arc in the film, but it wouldn't be successful without a stellar performance. She really carries the emotion of this movie. Christian Bale, of course, absolutely incredible as Gorr the God Butcher, bringing one of the creepiest villain takes that we've seen in this universe so far. Now, I absolutely love Bale. He's one of my favorite actors working today, and I was so happy to see him bring his talent to the MCU. Of course, Tessa Thompson, incredible as Valkyrie. You got Taika Waititi back as Korg, and you got a lot of great cameos from the Guardians as well. This was a really stellar cast all the way around. Really enjoyed it. One of the more shining parts of this film. Is it possible for a movie to be too funny? My constant complaint and biggest reason why I don't love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the fact that there are too many jokes. We've gotten to the point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe where the creatives feel that the films need to be filled with campy comedy. In some instances it works, but there is such thing as overkill. The biggest problem with a film like this is the inability to have any emotional moments truly land. There was a joke every 15 seconds, gave no time for any meaningful conversation to set in for the audience. That's not a good thing when you're trying to tackle some really heavy topics that are sprinkled throughout the runtime. And speaking of that runtime, this film's way too short, way too fast. I think the thing that really grinds my gears the most about the film is the inability to let anything breathe. I needed more emotion, and I needed more dialogue-filled conversation between Thor and Jane. I needed more moments with Gorr to continue to make us resonate with his character, and honestly, I needed more Thor in general. The plot of the film is Thor trying to figure out his place in the world, and what happens now after the events of Avengers Endgame. While there is a conclusion, it was so forced and rushed in the end, and I had no idea what we learned along the way. Every film has a lesson. What was the lesson of Thor Love and Thunder? Don't really have an answer for you. The final thing I really don't love is the pacing. You all know I'm the biggest stickler for pacing and how a film ebbs and flows. I love a short runtime as much as the next standard moviegoer, but this film is too damn short. You add 20 minutes to the runtime for some meaningful conversations, and this film is an absolute hit. But from the very first frame, this is a runaway train that stops for no one, and that just doesn't work. Now, like I said, there's a lot to love about the film, but there's so much here that just fails for me, and left me extremely conflicted on how to score it. When I was walking out of the theater with one of my work friends, Jeremy, he asked me what I thought about Thor: Love and Thunder. I told him simply, I didn't know. Did I love it or did I hate it? Honestly, I had no idea, and I still don't think I have a proper answer for you. This conflict will continue to follow me as we continue to move forward in the MCU. There is so much to love about this installment of the Thor franchise. It's got stellar performances, a compelling villain, classic Marvel fun that you can always expect. There is no doubt that this is the better half of the Thor quadrilogy. But I would be lying if I said this was better than Ragnarok. The pacing's way too fast. The comedy evaporates any sense of drama in the story. The runtime could have been 20 minutes longer. There's no time for our themes or story elements to breathe. And the plot for Thor is really non-existent in terms of personal motivations. Taika is a genius, but sometimes that genius can also be a downside. Thor: Love and Thunder really grinds my gears. The potential of this film to be one of the best in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is there, but the ingredients were not used properly. The fun is there. The drama, not so much. The arc of Jane Foster is excellent, while the arc for Thor is non-existent. The runtime is short, but the story is packed to the brim. There's no satisfaction in the end. This is the ultimate yin-yang film of the MCU. The one that I will continue to be conflicted about all year long. There are too many things that I can say about Thor: Love and Thunder that have already been said before. And look, in the end, I rated this an 84 out of 100. So that's not the lowest score in the world. It's still a B, because there are a lot of things to love. And I spent a majority of the time talking about the things I didn't like to help with my argument about how conflicted I am. I'm conflicted not because I want the movie to be bad. I'm conflicted because there are a lot of things I really like. And I wanted to rate it so much higher. Like I said, this had the ingredients and the potential to be one of the greatest movies in the MCU. It really, truly did. The setup was there. The cast was there. The story was there. I was so ready for it. And I left so disappointed. I love a lot about this movie. I really, really, really love how they handled Jane Foster's character. I really do. My mom said the same thing when I talked to her after she saw the movie. My mom and I both did not like Jane as a character at all. And I discussed it in this. She's written horribly. She's the most unlikable person in the MCU. The way they're able to redeem her in this movie and make her an actual lovable character with some substance was incredible. It was like one of my favorite things about the movie. I wanted to love this more than I did. And I think we are falling into the trap in the MCU of over-comedy. Is too much ever too much in the MCU when it comes to jokes? Well, the two times we've tried that experiment, it has failed. Guardians Volume 2 and Thor: Love and Thunder. You need moments to breathe. Yes, the Marvel movies are movies for kids. They're movies, but they're movies for everyone too. And that campy humor only goes so far. You need to have some actual substance. You need to have some really nice conversations. You know, the conversation between Thor and Jane when Jane reveals to Thor that she has cancer, every 5 seconds there is a joke or a snarky comment throughout that conversation that took it away from me. That should be a very emotional conversation that should be had. It should be, but it wasn't. All it was filled with emotion and comedy. So, in the end, I give it an 84 out of 100. There's still a lot to love about this film. There's a lot to love. And it is nowhere near my least favorite film in the MCU. I really did enjoy a lot of it. But there are those glaring flaws that I had to point out. So, that's all I have to say. I did a full review on my brand new channel, Jack Lautaret Reviews. I'm doing reviews in my car after I see them giving my initial reactions. About a 7-minute video over there on that channel. I'm going to leave that channel and that video linked below in the description. It's a brand new channel. So if you want more content from me, well, there you go. It's a brand new channel. So go check it out. Go check out that video. To everyone that's already watched and subscribed, I really do appreciate it. Let's get to 100 subscribers as fast as possible. So I really do appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe here if you've not already. One video a week, video essay style. Next week's is going to be a doozy. I'm already working on it. I'm already planning it. It's going to involve Thor: Love and Thunder and the MCU and other things around that. So if you're looking forward to that, make sure you subscribe. But guys, that's pretty much it. I want to thank you all so much for watching. It really does mean the absolute world for all the support. I went on vacation for a week, sat back, reminisced, and really was thankful for the great reception to the new content on the channel. It really did make me feel good. It continued to give me the motivation to continue to make content for you guys. And I had a nice vacation, and now I'm back, so I'm very excited. But that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.